Life is unfair. This became the running motif in Femecia's life because in her world, people receive magic blessings at the age of 5. Blessings ranked by number of stars, with 5 stars being the highest and most coveted in their society. She was blessed with the skill to tame monsters, only with 0 stars, a completely and utterly worthless rank, as she couldn't even tame small, meekly animals. The acceptance in the village she grew up in became rejection. The love she received from her parents became hate. She was forced to flee from her hometown while being chased by bounty hunters employed by her village. She changes her name to Ivy to take on a new identity. She cuts her hair so she can pass as a boy to avoid the hunters. She hasn't given up on life because there is something special about her. She was reincarnated from our world into the girl she is now, and the voice of her past gives her advice on how to live and who to be. She eventually meets a tiny slime who she befriends, named Sora. And now the weakest duo is on a quest to reach the capital, where she's been told she'll receive the purpose she's been missing. This is a heartfelt tale of the weakest tamer began a journey to pick up trash. And in this episode, Ivy and Latra stare face to face with Green Gale, who are now known to be part of the kidnapping organization, possibly attempting to take Ivy. If you're new to the series, you can watch the last 2 videos that cover everything from the very beginning. They'll be linked in the description. Let's get started and watch the story unfold. Latra, Ivy, and Green Gale have a stare-off. Yo, why does Green Gale look so evil now? Latra and Mila walk up to each other even closer, but it's only to play rock, paper, scissors? Latra wins, so they're going to his spot of choice. Although Ivy seems a little confused at the game between the 2 childhood friends. Inside the sweet shop, Toto and Malma are munching on the desserts, finishing so quickly they need more. Latra then asks why Ivy was invited out, and Toto explains Mila likes Ivy because he's a really good kid, so they couldn't keep wondering and invited him out. Mila scolds the 2 brothers for scaring her, and when she turns to Ivy, she laughs very nervously. Looking at Sora, seeing his scared reactions, without a doubt, these 3 are dangerous. Latra gets up, ready to brandish, telling them if they pick on Ivy, he'll show no mercy. But the twins tell him to stop playing around. They don't want to fight Latra, given he has 3-star flame attacks. However, knowing Latra has no defensive skills, Toto wouldn't mind sparring to see who is stronger between them. Mila tells them to stop, wondering why people with combat-type skills are always so uncivilized, causing Toto to respond that she wouldn't understand. She only has the Tamer skill, and she can't even tame strong monsters. With her slimes, she can only take out the trash. Hearing that causes her to sadden a little. Ivy gets up to defend her, saying Mila's 2-star skill is amazing, and Lasto and Lidl are rare slimes that can dispose of weapons. Ivy has traveled to many trash dumps, where she'd find something useful. That's why she knows even when people think something has no value, there will always be someone who treasures it. Mila's heart warms a little from this, and Latra agrees that being a tamer is a splendid job that can help others. But Toto thinks it's better to have something strong and flashy, since those things bring a lot of money. Malma adds that because their skills aren't that interesting, they're better off as adventurers, because if they had more money, then they wouldn't be in this position. And hearing that leaves Ivy a little curious. Afterwards, Latra asks Ivy how they were, and she responds that Sora freaked out at all of them. She misunderstood. He meant the sweets at the restaurant. They're absolutely a favorite of his. He chose the restaurant Flo for a reason. It's run by an adventurer he trusts, so they'd always be safe in that shop. With all of Green Gale now being confirmed traitors, they find it sad. Latra reminisces on his childhood. This town was a safe place for children then, a place where adults would praise you for doing good and smack you when you'd cause mischief, making Ivy remember her own hometown, before she turned 5 at least. Now, wherever a child goes, an adult has to be there to watch over them. With the children being tied to the adults, the town is uncomfortable and restricted. Latra wants to restore the peace this town used to have. Later, in the adventurers' clearing under the barrier, the gang learns of Green Gale's attempt to invite Ivy to have snacks with them. But to do it in broad daylight? Why would they go such lengths to target Ivy? Because of her being protected by both the Blazing Sword and Lightning King, it'd be a great risk for Green Gale, as they'd probably be the first suspects if Ivy went missing. Ivy's past life mentions the idea of a decoy. Elaborating further, the true nefarious organization wouldn't have a problem with Green Gale getting caught. as long as they can still remain in the shadows. And in fact, to spread word of the existence of traitors, it actually makes a lot of sense to send a well-known group like Green Gale to be scapegoats, sacrificial pawns that are a big enough distraction for the real evildoers to retrieve all the money hidden in the merchant's house. Green Gale would probably be disposed of to keep information from leaking. Latra gets concerned because he doesn't want to lose his childhood friend. This is when Ivy suggests letting herself get captured by Green Gale. That way, they can have her relay that security at the merchant base will be relaxed. Fake information that'll cause the evil organization to think it's safe to retrieve the money and documents, meaning Blazing Sword and Lightning King can lie in wait to catch them. It's such a well thought out plan, they really wonder if Ivy is 9. They find the plan compelling, but Sazerk and Barolda don't want to put her in danger. They know once the fight with the organization begins, it'll be an all-out war. But both the Watch and the Adventurers have many traitors amongst them. However, Latra promises to keep Ivy safe, no matter the cost. And Ivy logically concludes whether or not she's a decoy, she's still in danger of being targeted. So better to narrow the timing of the attacks by acting as bait, and also catch the culprits. They want to get this plan started, however, they're still worried about getting ambushed by other traitors. Ivy's past self then suggests tear gas bombs, but that doesn't exist in this world. So she asks if there's a magic item that can put enemies to sleep, and Sazerk brings up a sleep sphere. However, it'd put both enemy and allies asleep within range. Ivy stands up, because with the organization still not knowing that this group knows about them, the time to strike is now. She rallies everyone, because they can't let this opportunity pass. At the Adventurers Guild, Master Rogleaf calls all adventurers, telling them that the guild has been charged with guarding Ivy's safety. This is to show everyone in Altoa and outside of it that this town is safe, and he wants everyone to come up one by one and introduce themselves. With the first act about to begin, Ivy and Sora brace themselves. The first man, Aderically, triggers Sora, and they continue their work. Over at the merchant base, Vice Captain Agrop can tell Captain Birksby is a little antsy, but he denies it, saying it's just in his imagination. Birksby then mentions he saw Barolda smile. For a long time, they'd been troubled by this criminal organization. They were starting to grow weary and hopeless. Over and over, the town watch would corner them, and they'd flee, with every interaction having casualties. Whenever speaking of the organization, a sense of grim resolve hung in the air. But when Ivy speaks, Barolda smiles. Thanks to Ivy, the winds have changed. Birksby feels relieved over this. Shifal and gang approach to tell Birksby to organize a special unit. A monster lair has been discovered in a cave in the forest. Birksby is confused because he thought the suppression squads took care of all them. But Shifal interjects, saying one escaped and hid there. They want to take out the monster in one go and are requesting a large number of watchmen. They're up against a ferocious foe and will have to deal with other menaces along the way. So Shifal suggests Birksby choose members accordingly. Wink wink. Birksby catches on and leaves the personnel selection to Vice Captain Agrop. With introductions at the guild hall finished, Rogleaf tells everyone to wait, as he'll have a special assignment for them. Ivy is exhausted after all the hard work, but Sora is very cheery. Mila comes by to congratulate Ivy on his work, and thanks Ivy for telling Mila her work of disposing of trash to be very important. It made Mila happy. Malma and Tolto come by to tell her she'll surely be safe now that all the adventurers know her face, with Latra telling them for sure now no one will come after Ivy, with Mila answering somewhat nervously that he's right. Latra then suggests they get sweets again now, but at a different place, to which Tolto and Malma respond positively. However, this is all a ruse for Ivy and Latra's plans. Elsewhere, Birksby wants Shifal to divulge more details of the plan, but Shifal refuses since they don't know who might be listening, and he can't use a sound barrier as he wants to avoid having the organization think they're sharing secrets, which would put them on guard. Gaboldula comes up, having learned from Birksby that Vice Captain Agrop is downstairs, putting together a watchman force to eliminate the monster in the forest. Nuga then mentions Birksby should rethink sending all of his men, since this place is still important to the criminal organization, so they should leave some men here. Malric suggests Birksby leave the selection of men to Gaboldula, since he knows the place so well. After Gaboldula leaves, Shifal shows Birksby the sleep sphere because the plan is when the enemy comes to reclaim this place, they're gonna have a nice rest. That, and their allies as well. And when Shafal takes off, Nuga presents Berksby an item usually used on powerful monsters. Downstairs, Agrop has the forest unit ready, and Berksby notes that most of the men Gaboljala picked for guard duty of this place are traitors. Elsewhere, Mila brings them to Mamaroko, a sweet shop she really likes, and with the next part of their plan in motion, Ivy and Latra are ready to enter the belly of the beast. Oh man, it's about to be an all-out war. Like this video and subscribe for next week's episode. Also, watch this next video. It's me, Comfy T. I'll see you all in the next one.